We've gained 4 new clients, and that circular gained an extra £1 million. And so it's actually contract electronics side of the business is actually above management's forecast at the moment.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Simon Deacon. He is the CEO of Light Science Technologies. And Simon, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Steve. Good to see you.
Yeah, so talking about your first half numbers, your interim results, and obviously it was really another transformational period for the company. And you and I have talked in the past about the work that you've been doing and sort of putting the company in a certain direction. So compared to H1 of 2025, what are you seeing in 2026?
Yeah, the group has changed quite a lot in that period of time. And, compared to this time last year, we were an installer of our passive fire protection of Injectaclad material. We've now done an acquisition within the half year. We've raised net proceeds of 6.1 million within the group to do 3 acquisitions, and especially this Injectaclad acquisition for the passive fire protection division, which is totally unique product for stopping fires spreading within tall buildings within the cavity. We've now got own the IP on this, and this really sets the tone for the business. So what we've been doing is creating some building blocks so that we're ready really for the expansion that we see within the passive fire protection market here in the UK, but also in the future, broaden that out into Europe and internationally. So it's going really well. We're really pleased with progress. The H1 results might not show that right now, but certainly in H2 and towards the back end of this year, we're going to see some good results coming out. So management are really pleased with progress. The H1 results are very much what we expected to be, and so we're pleased with progress so far, and the future is looking bright.
Yeah, and speaking of Injectaclad, I know the company and you and the team has been really scaling big time to try and really see the results of this acquisition really moving into the second half.
Yeah, if you look at the first half, we didn't get the actual acquisition completed till April, mid-April, and our end of half year is end of May. So you're only really looking at a sort of a 6 or 7 week period of the acquisition taking effect. But in that time, what we've done is we've created a new distribution centre. We've got 11 installers around the country with 10 projects on at this stage around the country, of which our own installation team is doing 3 of those projects. And they scale from anything from university to educational buildings to social housing, residential flats, to office blocks. So the real spread of different markets within the construction industry, and there's over 40,000 buildings which require remedial work. So we're really well placed now, Stephen, to really make a really positive next H2 part of the year, half 2 of the year, and also going into 27, 28, and really building for that expansion, and those building blocks are there.
And the building safety regulator has also been an asset, I would guess, is one way to describe it, on those remediation projects, as you mentioned, and sort of moving them from pipeline into actually getting them on the bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. What we saw, and we've seen delays over the last sort of 18 months in the building safety regulator. And what we saw here was that the government had it in the health and safety executive, and it got moved into housing executive. And that happened at the end of January this year. And what we've seen now is that starting of the unblockage of those projects, which we're specified in. So we're getting specified for more projects within the construction going through the building safety regulator, which is a real testament to the product, what we install across the country. So we've seen really good progress there. And the BSR building safety regulator is really making that difference now. And I would like to just touch on that, the government's also supporting funding now for buildings under 11 metres. There's a 6 billion fund available by the government for buildings above 11 metres, but they're all now supporting under 11 metres. So that opens up the market and supports the funding of these buildings having the remedial work done.
Yeah. AGT's revenue increased in the period, so that's obviously a positive. What's driving that one there, Simon?
Yeah, in the AgTech department and division, we've really seen some strong growth in H1, and we expect that to continue for H2, which we're pleased to say. And that's driven really by we've just completed a Nottingham Trent University Research Centre, and we designed the building, we built the building, and also fitted it out with modern technology that we design and build as well. So it was a complete turnkey package. And what we see is that's a real test bed for us, for other universities in education. And what we're seeing in food security right now is people looking with our extreme weather patterns we're having across the world. Can we grow more indoors, and how can we do that profitably? And so using an educational piece, educating the university students is now starting to have real momentum. And that coincides really with all the commercial glass houses that we maintain and throughout the country, which has been over 79 in the first part of the half year.
I want to ask you about the second half of the year in just a second, but the CEM division, I should ask you about that one as well, how it performed.
Yeah, CM division, we had a particular pest control client, which the revenue and the product of that was scaling down because it came to the end of its life on one of their product ranges. We do a number of product ranges for them, but one of them in particular was coming to the end of life, which we were fully aware and made aware of to the market as well. But what we've been doing there is building up new clients to replace that work. And so we've gained 4 new clients. And that circular gained an extra £1 million. And so it's actually contract electronics side of the business is actually above management's forecast at the moment. So that's going back in the right direction. It's recovering from the position it was in. And so really getting ready now to take on to the next steps. What we should be doing is going into the defence, health and medical markets. And we'll be getting the right procedures, the right equipment, and accreditations needed. As we all know, defence is becoming a real springboard around the world. And the UK government is going to spend over £270 billion over the next 4 years, and we want to be part of that.
Yeah, they wish it was in the millions.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about second half of the year. You obviously put some key building blocks in to really move the company in a strong position in second half.
Yeah, we've made real progress, and as I say, it might not show in the current results, but it will do in the second half and going into 27. What we've got here is this time last year we had £1.7 million worth of cash runway. Now we're at 2.7 million, and what's been really interesting in the second half is that in the last 2 months after the half year end, we've been doing revenue of around just over £2 million. So if you take what we've done, the £2 million of revenue in the last 2 months, and the quoted and forward ordered book, which has been secured of 3 million, you're starting to see the visibility. And with that visibility, we're also seeing with revenue done is an increase of cash. So we're going from 2.7, and by the end of July, we've reported that it's now up to 2.9 million. So cash is going in the right way and will continue to do so, which is really good, strong momentum to have a positive end of year and really going into 2027, 28. We're at a very excited time with a division in passive fire protection and cavity barriers, which is accelerating at a real rate, as well as contract electronics in defence and AgTech in technology for food security.
Yeah, exciting times ahead for sure. We look forward to following it and keeping everyone up to date. Simon, thanks so much. I appreciate your time. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to see you. Simon Deacon, the CEO of Light Science Technologies.